Hey, welcome in. We wanted to do a video for you guys this week because the breaking news has been today. We just got brand new news as Powell came out and spoke this morning in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. But before we get to that, Quint, you are wearing an Auburn shirt.
I am. Yes, I am wearing an Auburn shirt.
We
I'm
have
supporting...
Kentucky hats in the background,
yeah,
and you're.
It's a house divided where, as everybody knows, I've talked about this ad nauseum. The young man, the Joshua Tatro, the oldest, is off to Auburn, and I haven't worn this. I've had it for a few months, and I thought today, I was like, we don't have any in-office meetings where I was like, it can be a little more casual, and there you go. So, boom.
There you go. How's he doing?
War Eagle. I think he's doing good. I haven't talked to him much. Hopefully he's okay.
Well, hopefully he's talking to his mother, so she's
I
not.
hope so. Yeah, I think he is.
Okay, good. Well, let's talk about Jackson Hole and Jerome Powell coming out this morning.
Yeah, it's fascinating, Logan. I would not think that today would have created the fervor in the market that it's creating. If you've looked at the market today and obviously over the weekend, you'll notice we had a tremendous up day, especially in areas that are very interest rate sensitive, like small caps at the time of this shooting is like 3.8% on the day, almost 4% on the day, which is just absolutely amazing. But every year, economists from around the world and other bank leaders and so forth converge on Jackson Hole, Wyoming. This is an event that's been going on for many, many years now and has really become bigger over time. And it's been not only a meeting or a symposium where figureheads can get together and talk about economics and so forth, but traditionally our Fed chair will give a speech that is right there with like a Fed announcement day.
Right.
It's right up there, right? If you know what we talk about, we say, okay, it's Fed day. They meet for 2 days. They give an announcement of where they see interest rates, where the target rate is, and then it's followed up with typically a Q&A, on bated breath. Market's always on pins and needles. What's he going to say, et cetera.
Yep.
I think what's interesting is why the reaction today is that Jerome Powell has been pretty steadfast in his view on interest rates, and that is we're not doing anything. And the reason is that Powell and many other voting members of the Board of Governors have been concerned about what tariffs would do to inflation. Well, two things have transpired since we've seen tariffs in play. One is it's not impacting the rate of inflation. And I'm always going to say the rate of inflation and try to make sure I announce that because we're not seeing any change in prices, right?
Grocery store cost $1 million.
Eggs are still $5, $6. I mean, it's still amazing the prices where they are. It's the rate of inflation. Right. It's the rate of acceleration. So
which is in now like a comfortable range, 2 to 3%.
2.7, I think, is the last time. The Fed had targeted at 2%. It's been very sticky. But they've been concerned that as tariffs have been enacted, that we would see the rate of inflation go right back up to where it was just a few years ago. Well, that's not happening. That's number one. Number two, the other dual mandate, the other portion of the dual mandate is full employment.
Right.
Well, what are we starting to see? You did a really nice job the other day on the radio and other areas discussing this. We have seen incredible revisions in the employment numbers, and we're hearing from corporations, the Fed listens to this as well, that the consumer is certainly tight and may be tapped out.
Right.
So that's a concern. So in their balance, it's not like they adjusted rates today. They did not. However, rates have moved considerably on the news. But
longer-term rates, because they only control the shorter
term.
Right.
That's right. Well, rates across the board, short and long-term, have moved considerably today. But yes, they only control the overnight lending. But nonetheless, his press conference or his speech basically alluded to the fact to the Fed changing their sort of tone and their view on things. And that was enough right there to send the market up considerably on that. Why? Because the market's going to cue off interest rates. Interest rates are moving lower, and all things tied to interest rates, which is basically every corporation that does business, is moving as well higher. It's welcome news. I never get upset with a rising market.
Right.
However, one day doesn't make a trend, and what we've seen over the last couple of weeks has been weakness.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sugarcoat it. I mean, this is great, but we're certainly not bringing out, the tambourine and the cheerleading outfits, because we want to keep things in perspective. The economy is starting to slow. We are seeing it a variety of places, and so we like the green, definitely like the green on the screen, but we are taking it in stride, knowing full well we're not jumping in, we're not changing our cautious position, et cetera.
Yep.
So you got to temper the enthusiasm, but it certainly is nice to see such a strong day.
Yeah,
today.
absolutely. After, I think, 5 days straight of market being flat to down, it's nice to see a little bit of a pop. But at the same time, the Fed is lowering interest rates because they're concerned about what could happen. Right?
Well, they might be lowering interest rates, but you're right.
Yeah.
They're hinting at this change because, well, not that they're concerned, but the rates have been high for a very long time. I mean, they've been traditionally high over the last several years for a long, long time now, and that's been a lot of people's point of contention. President Trump has been the biggest, outspoken individual regarding this, and so it's not that they're concerned per se. They might be, but they want to start bringing monetary policy, into a looser and more accommodative stance before things get weak. Now, in my opinion, they're already too late. I mean, I won't be as verbose as our president, but in my opinion, they're too late, and they're going to be backtracking. And despite their movement, this is why I'm not going to get excited about today, or I'm not going to get excited when they ultimately lower, because in my opinion, the economy is already starting to erode. So that's concerning to me. I want to see how that plays out before I get too excited about the fact that the rates are going to go lower.
Yeah, makes total sense. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, last week, I appreciate everybody's patience when at 7 o'clock at night, I laid down on the couch and I happened to check email, and I had a client who notified us that Schwab had a reporting error, and therefore we spent the remainder of the weekend sort of doing damage control. I want to thank all of you that sent kind follow-up emails and thanking us for our correspondence regarding that. I've never seen anything like that in 25 years of business. Charles Schwab, our custodian, has certainly heard my dissatisfaction of the way that was handled. So thank you for your patience. It was obviously corrected by Monday morning, but that was frustrating to say the least.
Yeah, it was a long weekend.
It was a long weekend, yeah. But thank you again for your continued patience in that issue.
Thanks, Quinn. All right, everybody have a good weekend out there.